Hello there. Come here.
Yeah? What is it?
Now, why does one summon a witcher, To inquire about the gossip currently flowing about the court? I have a problem with a beast.
Ah, you the one posted the notice? Go on then, spit it out. What's it about?
First, my dear witcher, we must establish ground rules. Given the vast difference in our respective social positions, I'm sorry to say I take umbrage at the familiar tone you take. I expect deference. I expect you to address me as Sir, or better yet, as Monsieur de Bourbeau.
Listen, friend. There's an enormous difference between us, but it's not about status. It's about me having two swords on my back, and you having none. So I'll call you whatever I want, and you either deal with that or solve your monster problem yourself.
The gall! I shall file a complaint with your guild.
Make sure you address it to customer service. Kaer Morhen, Kedwin. Now talk, before I change my mind and go.
Notlings and their manners. Very well. Let us get this over with. Something has infested my vineyard.
Great. Let me go prepare my something oil then.
I beg your pardon?
Need more information than that. Where was this something seen? Any witnesses? Bodies to examine?
Therein lies the rub. None has seen the beast. We've only heard signs of its presence, a strange scratching and shrieks. Neither are there any corpses to inspect. Men simply disappear without a trace.
Noises you mentioned. Where do they come from?
Well, everywhere. But they're most clearly audible in the wine cellar.
Means the monster must dwell underground. When are the noises loudest?
In the night, just as they were years ago, when the buildings quaked. Another expert agreed to look into the matter then, but was never thereafter seen nor...
Who's disappeared, if you don't mind?
Most recent...
Despite the vast difference in social status, you remember the farmhand's name?
No. You must speak to my wife. She has more collegial relations with this household help. She's away at the moment visiting her mother, but should... Oh, that should suffice with the questions. Now tell me, will you...
Depends.
Fine. Seems I must take the loss. Agreed.
Fine, I'll do it. Need to look around here first. Then I'll want to talk to Madame de Bourbeau.
Very well. I shall inform you once she has returned. Meanwhile, the key to the cellar. Just... whatever you do, please do not disturb the wine barrels.
Shoop dum da re re ab shoop.
All right, let's look around. Shattered dishes. Got knocked off the shelf somehow. Shaken off, maybe? What the? somehow. Shaken off, maybe? A tunnel? Can finally see something. Kicking. Goes on and on in this tunnel. Should be able to break through. Damn it, it's getting away. Damn it. Yum could hatch any minute. No Kikimore dug this. Tunnels are the work of something much bigger. Something with heavy, wide claws. Cracked Kikimore eggs. Something's been feeding on them. Water coursing. Underground stream, last one. Monster I'm looking for lives underground, digs tunnels, feeds on Kikimores. It is big. Very big. Won't learn anything else here. Time to go back to the surface. Getting more interesting by the minute.
Sacre bleu!
What is the meaning of this? I'm paying you to slay a monster, not demolish my property.
Property's falling apart on its own, what with all the tunnels under it. I'd fill those in soon if you don't want your building to collapse.
Tunnels? Fiddle my thumb, how did tunnels appear down there?
Something dug 'em. A large creature. Also killed a few Kikimores down there and destroyed their eggs. Consider it a half-favor. Won't cost you much.
Kikimore eggs. Yes, of course, good work. Indeed, a reward is due.
Madame de Bourbeau, I presume? Hear you know something about the missing farmhand.
Jean-Luc? Yes. We went to examine this year's seedlings. Something had been nibbling at them. Then we heard these odd noises. Jean-Luc went to reconnoiter and never returned.
Where did you last see Jean-Luc, madame? Exactly.
In the fields, north of here, by the wood.
New seedlings there? I was under the distinct impression we had planted them all on the south slope.
Almost all, my dear. I requested that some be planted to the north, by the grove. Just the remainders.
Madame, could you describe Jean-Luc?
Tall, exceedingly well built, hair black as pitch.
Dear, concentrate. There is not a peasant that is not well built. They work in the fields all day. He means scars, birthmarks, that sort of thing.
Then none, I suppose. But he did wear a pendant around his neck. A silver one.
Silver jewelry on a farmhand?
It was a gift, I believe. Or that is what he claimed.
Should be enough to go on.
Then what are you fritting round here for? Get to work.
Apshoop, dum darere, apshoop. Guess that's Chad.
Vermentino and Coronata merged. Who would have thunk?
Bread's really stale. Been here a while. Blanket was laid out here. Footprints. 2 sets. Felled trees, as if something rolled over them. So is Shaelmar. Only they dig tunnels and move like that. Trail leads to that cave. Straight. I want to look around some. Perfect for digging. Drags its victims here. Pretty fresh, some of them. Gonna have to brew some bait. Need the blood of a recent victim and some of the mushrooms that grow here. Fresh corpse. Must be Jean-Luc. Crushed ribs, cracked skull. Shaelmar did this. No 2 ways about it. Silver pendant. A lock of hair inside. Same color as Madame de Bourbeau's. Highly decayed. Partly eaten. Been lying here a while. Spill it within the lair, somewhere near an air current, so the scent spreads throughout the cave. Ugh, that stench. Shaelmore will be here any minute.
pigs can fly.
Witch runs through the town, upstairs and downstairs, in his nightgown.
My hand shakes so bad.
The wall. Fix it by the end of the day.
You. Can we talk?
You'd best be bearing good news. Get on with it.
This Jean-Luc, he did have a silver pendant. Kept a lock of Madame de Bourbeau's hair in it, matter of fact.
What? But how could she? To be unfaithful to me? A lord and heir with a plow-spawned peasant? Oh, she shall pay for this.
Don't doubt that. But mind paying me first? For services beyond the scope of the contract?
There. It'll come out of her dowry.
Got rid of the beast that was giving you trouble. It was a Shelmar.
Shelma? Whatever could that be?
Kinda like a cross between a mole and a caterpillar. Just big as a barn.
Huh? Well, Master Witcher, you make a poor first impression, but ultimately proved your worth. There. Your reward. Now, forgive me. I must speak to my wife.
Folks say she has armored tunnels beneath the foundations.
Damn it! Watch where you step, fool.
Drink! Give me a drink!
Just yesterday, they were fighting like cats, and today,
Come on, Roach. Sounds of a fight. Have to hurry. Damn it. Killer must still be here. In the cellar. Gotta be. Killed with a single blow. Throat torn open by man-like jaws. Man-like, except for long fangs. Massacred by a vampire. Not an Ekimara, though. Or a Fletter. Bruxa. Gotta be. Blood and moon dust. Could be lifesavers. Attacker had no trouble knocking over the cart. Claw wounds from 5 separate claws, spread of a small human hand. Footprints. Small bare feet lead deeper into the cellar. Fell down the stairs, broke his neck. Hurled against the wall with great force. Used this to batter down the grate. You. Saw you at the inn. I know what you are. Don't know why you killed these people, though. Clearly wasn't for their blood. We don't have to fight.
You are wrong. I cannot let you leave.
the body. What was she doing at the table, though? Stinks. Waterlogged. Both hands amputated. Body was quartered just as I thought. Laid in water for some time. Head swollen, and something took a few bites out of it. Something in the throat. A pouch, bulging with coins. Nilfgaardian florins, from several different provinces. If the murderer did this, it means we're dealing with a sentient, thinking beast. Body was chopped up after death. Blows struck with great force, but bones sliced through, not crushed. Creature that killed him had long claws, sharp as a witcher's blade. First sank its claws into the victim's heart. No Bruxa did this. Third hand. A spare? Except it's clearly not the victim's. Guardsmen must have not noticed it as they picked everything up. How's this possible? Still warm. Blood still flowing? Several monster species can regenerate. Never heard of that happening to their severed limbs, though. Or of their limbs seeming completely alive after so much time. Examine the tissue more closely later. Might learn something. So, murderer was clearly a monster, but not a Bruxa. But then why'd the Bruxa come here for the severed hand? And who does the hand belong to? Why the hell's it still warm? Now, pouch shoved down the victim's throat. What's the significance? And why was he chopped up into pieces? Lots of questions, no answers so far. Need to know about the other victims. I'll ask Palmerin to get me in to see the Duchess.
And listen, we are in Tw3.
The giant belched.
Need to speak to the Duchess, urgently.
All right, you scamps. Store is done. Go find your parents.
But the Palmerine, what about the story of Rittik and the dragon?
They're tales for another time. But take a good look at the man who stands before you now. This is Geralt of Rivia, the master witcher who lent his valiant hand to the defeat of the giant Goliath.
Master Witcher, is it true virtue always trumps villainy?
Yeah, virtue always wins.
But the Black Knight, he's a villain and he wins.
The cutter of Casteldaccia, too.
Moral victory, that's what counts.
Rubbish.
Now, that will do for questions. Go find your parents. Her Enlightened Highness has doubtless arrived at the tourney grounds to watch the battle in the arena. If we hurry, we'll be in time to speak with her before the spectacle begins.
Lead the way. Who's fighting? Nilfgaardian gladiators?
Close, but not quite. As we'll soon see.
Someone's gonna fight a Shelmar with only some bells on its tail to confuse it, slow it down?
Whatever is the problem? The beast is a gift from the Emperor, no less.
This is dangerous. Bells on its tail aren't enough.
I saw a spectacle of the sort at the arena in Nuremberg. There, a knight with a Shelmar with bells on its tail.
Might have gotten lucky. Shelmar might have been lame. Who knows? Only a Witcher has a real chance against a healthy Shelmar. And that's not even every Witcher. Besides which, releasing a monster that dangerous in front of a crowd? Plain irresponsible. Who's going to fight the beast?
Guillaume, the young man we met.
Yeah. Mentioned he'd promised his heart's capture a monster trophy.
Great love demands great sacrifices.
Let's go.
I dedicate my imminent victory to fair Lady Vivian.
It's begun. The fight shall have to end first. We must wait.
Got a bad feeling about this.
Fight to the beast! Its plans confound! The fate of the beast has been weighed by the gods! Soon the witcher shall triumph against all odds! Out, brief flame! And thus the witcher's life was snuffed! All hope, alas, has turned to dust! The beast heaved its foul girth. And knocked him to earth. And down came the witch with one pound. It fights to the beast. Its plans confound. that Shelma lies defeated by Geralt of Rivia, master of the witchering trade. Behold, as the last gasps of life seep from the beast.
Master Geralt, do what you must. Finish the deed!
It suffered enough.
The monster lies slain! The fight is done! Praised be the victors!
Guillaume?
The lad came damned close to dying.
I'm fine. Not hurt at all. Vivian?
Smile as befits a hero and keep silent. Speech clearly pains you. She approaches.
Geralt. We must talk. Vivian.
You shall talk later, in the medic's tent.
Geralt, magnificent, breathtaking.
Your Grace.
We knew that to summon you was a brilliant idea. We are delighted, ravished to have struck upon it.
And I'm truly, honored.
See to our young hero. Hop, hop. For we must make off with Geralt. We should talk. We had been long awaiting your arrival. Had nearly lost hope. Then suddenly, that entrance, so spectacular.
Your Grace. Shaelmars are dangerous creatures, even to knights in full-plate armor.
Nonsense. In Toussaint, knights have battled beasts for mere glory since time immemorial. True. Guillaume suffered a few bumps, scars, and bruises, but in return gained eternal glory as he who slew the monster.
What about the crowd? Say the Shaelmar had vaulted into the stands. Would have been a massacre.
Geralt, though we value your fortuitous intervention in the arena, we would remind you your services have been retained, and as shall soon become clear, you will be generously compensated for completing another task altogether.
Your Grace, my contract. I'd like to discuss it.
Naturally, but not here. We shall need Damien. He led the investigation pending your arrival. But wherever could he be? Come, we must find him. Tell us, have you come alone? Or did Viscount Julian accompany you?
Wish to see Dandelion, Your Grace?
Yes. I mean, no. Yes. But solely to tell him we regret. Yes, deeply regret rescinding the death sentence we so justly handed down upon him. If we could turn back time, we would make certain he sat in a tower till he rotted. No, we would ensure he was broken on the wheel, then drawn, hanged, and quartered. Ah, the very man we would entrust with these tasks. Damien Tw3, captain of my personal guard.
Your Grace. Witcher.
Greetings. Sorry to have to tell you, but the guardsmen handling the last victim's body...
I know already. The creature in the cellar of Corvo Bianco. Was it the beast?
No. A Bruxa, a kind of vampire. Not the beast, but tied to it in some way.
You know this how?
Through careful analysis of the evidence, both on the riverbank and at Corvo Bianco.
Do you mean to insinuate the investigation thus far has been sloppy?
Geralt insinuates nothing of the sort. We must listen to him attentively.
I examined the body of the beast's last victim. Might have found something. Need to analyze it. A quiet place, that's what I could use most right now. And maybe the help of an alchemist or a mage. Also like to hear all you know about the previous victims. Take it Sir Delatour is my man for that.
Firstly, call me Damien, please. Secondly, you should know I spoke against summoning you here. I've heard much about you. You bring trouble, or thus far have, always. And we've enough trouble as it is. Yet we are capable of defeating the beast on our own, without an outsider's help. I've no doubt about it.
Damien, we settled the matter of the Witcher's employ some time past. Definitively. Since you have broached it nonetheless, let us discuss Geralt's pay. Are the legends true? Do Witchers usually demand that which you find at home, yet did not expect?
Not quite, Your Grace. Law of surprise, it's something we invoke at times, but rarely. Usually we just take gold.
Disappointing. This law sounds rather romantic. On the other hand, on returning to the palace, we would likely find impatient petitioners or a set of sample fabrics for a new dress. Poor rewards, both. I fear you'd not have much use for any of the surprises we are likely to come upon. Thus, we've decided you shall receive the deed to a vineyard, Corvo Bianco, and the sum of coin. You will doubtless consider this adequate. Title to the vineyard shall be given to you at once. Surely you'll need lodgings while you hunt. The coin, however, will be yours only once you have slain the beast.
Lovely, generous gesture, Your Grace. But, Corvo Bianco, isn't it the Duchy's temporary morgue?
Is it now? The Chancellery's bungled things again, we fear. Not to be left unsupervised for one instant. Yet, in its mood, a morgue should present minimal problems to a Witcher. What's more, nothing enhances a wine's reputation better than a grim legend.
Thank you, Your Grace. I accept the contract, of course. But as I said before, I'll need some information. How'd it start? Who was the first victim?
Crespi was the first to die. He was famed once for his many glorious tournament victories. Then he grew old, hung up his sword, and took to winemaking.
Crespi was not loved by the wine merchants. He was ruthless in business and thought to cheat many a time. He asked us for a dispensation from all court ceremonies. We did not grant it. We could not. Once you've taken the oath of a knight, you remain a knight till death.
How'd he die? Where'd they find the body?
Quite unusual, the circumstance. He was at a feast when suddenly one of his fellow feastgoers noticed he was missing. The town watch found him an hour later. On his hands and knees, propped against the town pillory, his sword hanging from his neck. He had died of wounds inflicted with claws, not a weapon. Blows of great force.
So he died suddenly, but the body was on its knees, meaning someone posed it.
So it seems.
Second murder. Tell me what you know.
In the city there are certain nooks. No one reasonable ventures there after dark. Ramon Dulac's corpse was found in one such place. With the first murder, terror gripped the city. Its inhabitants grew wary, kept to safe areas. Consequently, news of the second victim came to us from a group of concerned cut-purses.
Criminals fear the beast? Telling in a way. Take it you've excluded the possibility that Ramon died at the hands of these bandits.
Do you believe me an amateur? Not hands, but claws killed Ramon Dulac. The wound was deep, clean.
His body was found in the gutter. dressed in nightshirt and cap, a pillow placed under his head, and his sword replaced by a bed warmer. Ramon de Lac, a knight who but a dozen years past was an advisor to our father, the Duke.
Someone went to a lot of trouble to make him look ridiculous. Maybe revenge was the motive.
It's not out of the question. Dulac had shady dealings with the criminal underworld. No one ever came forth with concrete proof of any misdoings.
So, first two victims were knights, best years behind them.
The same could be said of the third. Sir Delacroix was wont to claim that in modern times knights face new challenges, enterprise being the latest addition to the chivalric virtues.
He made a veritable fortune in the grain trade. Palmerin even nicknamed him Sir de la Stinchi.
Found a coin pouch on his body. Contained florins dating from various times, hailing from different provinces of the Empire.
Delacroix loved coin, true, but had no patience for numismatics.
Lots of similarities between the victims. All the bodies were found in strange places under extraordinary circumstances. Seems the murderer, whoever or whatever it is, has some meaning to convey.
These were honorable men. We are horrified by the disdain, the disrespect with which they were treated. These were knights of Toussaint. Blast it.
Might be the point. From what you say, none was a model of virtue. Ever considered that's what the beast's trying to draw attention to?
All the murdered men were knights who swore fealty to the 5 chivalric virtues. And even if the...
Knights of Toussaint swear fealty to what virtues exactly?
Honor, wisdom, generosity, valor and compassion.
Five virtues. Why are they so important to your knights?
Strange question.
Your Grace, forgive me. I'm a foreigner trying to understand another land's customs.
You are forgiven. According to legend, the virtues we cultivate were bestowed upon us by the Lady of the Lake. How we truly came to espouse them, none remember. In Toussaint, we believe men of low birth should be simple-hearted and obedient. We expect much more, however, of our knights. They are to be soldiers and courtiers, lords and... At the time of his dubbing, a knight vows to demonstrate throughout his life...
Beast seems to be pointing up moral decay, denouncing it. Victims were all humiliated. Might have been murdered.
Honor compromised by the pillory.
Can't discount the...
Let's think.
Milton mentioned... Hang on.
Could it be...
Milton also...
Damien!
They were a team?
They were close.
Unlikely to be a... Your Grace, we need to...
Rather problem...
We must cope...
First and Damien. And you, Witcher. A Horses? Your Grace!
What the hell? Why, I should... Your Highness, I...
Mind it doesn't get wrinkled. Onward! Hey! That is silk! Be careful! Give it to me!
Your grace seems right at home in the saddle.
Like the wind! Clear the path! Clear the way, I said! Is this part of the game?
A fruitful life, Witcher.
It's here! Just round the corner!
Hurry!
We must go to where the game is being held. The participants must find a unicorn's horn, a golden fish, and a phoenix egg. With these in hand, they can deduce where the hare, Milton, hides.
Mean we need to find those things too?
We've no other option. But time is of the essence, so we shall have to break the rules. The second thought, through here. I shall show you where the hunt plays out. Then we will split up. You will get hold of the unicorn horn and the golden fish. While I nab the phoenix egg. That will be quickest.
The unicorn. How do I catch it?
It's terribly skittish, true, but I'm sure you will find a way to earn its trust. It runs around over there, look.
Golden fish. Do I need a rod or a net?
Please, Geralt. It's not a real fish. Look there, towards the water. See the lights? The hunters are trying to hook the fish from boats. You must simply dive in and find it. The golden fish and the horn both contain things or clues that will help us find Milton. Once you have fish and horn, find me among the other phoenix egg hunters. All clear? Then let's get to it.
Fiorano of the 1290 vintage. I do encourage you to try it.
You are the famed Geralt of Rivia, are you not?
Hey! Mademoiselle, are you certain you dropped it right here?
Yes! I cannot return without my engagement ring!
No, this do not mean. I shall continue searching.
Should be easy to spot once I'm under.
What the blazes?
Did someone just dive?
This fatal hope. That is not allowed.
It will not do. do.
Hey, wait. Stop. It's important.
King Cormorant Sa, prithee cast upon us your merciful eye and bear before us its secrets.
As the moon is heavenly coursed up Tw3, in my domain I await that moment of grace, when a soul of good or ill repute brings me a gift, fitting tribute.
A key.
Why? Don't cry, dear. The Duchess will hear of this.
This is an outrage.
Perhaps an apple will work. Or some sweets.
We would not be in this predicament, dear sister, were you still a virgin.
Do you really wish to have this conversation again? Here and now?
Hush, or you'll spook the beast. We shall try the sweets.
Hey, folks. Gonna have to ruin your fun. Sorry.
Who's that?
Stay calm. Shh. Calm down. Easy now.
Well, that's hardly fair.
Flagrant cheating is what it is. Sirs, we must teach this scamp some proper sportsmanship.
Listen, I didn't break any rules.
True, he won fair and square.
We were unlucky, that's all. We must try to grab the next clue.
They're done at last.
Unworthy. Entirely inappropriate behavior.
A complete collapse of...
Let's go!
The Duchess's champion.
She wished to win so badly.
If you please, Your Grace.
We do not please. We act out of the highest necessity. All shall be explained later.
But it's against the rules.
I am the rules. Geralt! At last.
Got a key and a clue.
And I've another. Show me yours. Who wrote this drivel? I begin like a groan, hollowed out with ease, then end like a mouse, with a head of hard cheese.
Too cryptic, this riddle. Got no idea what it's talking about.
Then be silent and let me think. Look, if we take roll, hollow it out and fill it with ease. The letters, that is. We get green. Then mouse, but starting with what heads heart cheese. Why, it's greenhouse.
Pretty clever. And it sounds right to me.
There are several greenhouses in the gardens, but only one with a door that locks. And the key to it looks just like the one we found.
Greenhouse it is then. Let's go. Wait here.
What the butch?
What was that?
I'm here.
This belonged to you, maybe?
It did, but you may keep it. I've a new one. I do not know you. I've done you no harm. Yet first you butchered a Bruxer who was dear to me. Now you pursue me. Why?
You've killed 4 innocent people, at least.
And you? How many innocents have you cut down?
Not here to talk about me.
Yet that is exactly what we are doing. So, did they send you after me? Who are they?
What do you mean, they? Duchess hired me. You've been murdering her subjects.
Is it as simple as that? I would ask you to convey to the Duchess that I've but one victim left, but you'll not get the chance. To stay where you are. Regenerate!
I know you're in trouble. I can help.
I'll help myself!
No, he's my friend.
Yes, Geralt, it's me.
Regis? You alright?
All is well. All's in order. Wounds such as these heal on vampires in moments. But we've not seen one another in ages, my friend. At least in human terms, that is.
How's this even possible? Last I saw you...
I was a bubbling, shapeless smear, having been rather spectacularly melted into a column of a certain castle. In somewhat better shape now, as you can see. Hardly peak form, mind you, but were I human, folk would think me a demigod, I dare say.
I'm sorry. What happened, it was my fault. Never got a chance to apologize.
No need, Geralt. Bygones. I did not have to join you on that expedition. No one twisted my arm.
Miraculous regeneration. How do you manage it?
I had help. From the one you hunt.
Him? How? And what have you been doing all these years?
Not the time nor place for such stories. I suspect we'll get a chance to speak at ease and at length later. Now, however, we must deal with the reason that brought us both here.
Local serial killer seems to obey you. Maybe you could talk him out of it, convince him to stop murdering.
Why do you think I've come? It shall not be easy, as Dettlaff can be rather stubborn. Though you must certainly recall that neither do I surrender readily.
So that's his name. He's your friend?
You might call it that. Though Dettlaff is... how would you humans put it? More bestial than I am. But not to worry.
Haven't exactly done a great job with that. He's killed one knight since I got here. At least 3 others before I arrived. So in your opinion, what are his reasons? Got a lot...
Despite... Remember... Blood...
Brute...
It
Awfully...
Yes.
What make...
He chose...
Probably...
Much...
Oh...
Each in point... Well...
I'm... All in...
Let us...
Fine.
Hit
the pot.
I prefer...
See...
Which...
Still...